We'll watch the pop-off game. I'm not gonna really bother watching the mid game. I think we'll just watch and appreciate his pop-off, and we'll go from there. Let's get into this. So he's going into it with some really nice stuff. And he's shown this really I like the way he thinks. He doesn't want to use his pad for half if he can help it. He wants someone else to help him to rotate to half. I really like seeing that about him. It shows his forethought. He's going, this pad here is much better used in a first moving scenario. Why? I'm gonna make someone else rotate for me, or I'm gonna try and find something by myself at half. So I really like that mentality of his. It's really good to see. It shows a little bit of forethought, which is something I don't think again. I don't know a huge amount about the guy, but it seems like he just hasn't been thinking that way in the past couple of seasons. So again, a first moving scenario. I'm looking to see him look to pad late. He constantly does this, sits in his cone, looks to pad late, and then looks to pump someone as they're padding to try and find a refresh, which he needs. He's got 53 builds left. He does need a refresh. And if he can't find one, he'll use his own. Oh wow, this is one of these scenarios where I reckon old Mongraal would have tried a 50-50 that. Old him would have tried to break that cone of 50-50. Like I genuinely believe that. So to see him really play a little bit less aggro. And there you go, like 2 seconds later, he finds a refresh that is a guarantee. He gets a beam on the guy, gets in, and he finds the refresh that way. Like, I reckon old Mongraal would have tried to find a refresh on that guy that boxed him up. Instead, he's got the right mentality of, I can't find a 50-50, I've got to try find some damage on a guy first, but actively looking for it. That's exactly what I was talking about just before. Don't just be sitting around doing nothing with your time. Actively look for it when you're at that stage where you're sort of close to needing it. Nice edge play, not blocking off his back. So, you know, savings add up when you're doing this sort of shit. So, like, I mean, if we look at the drone free, I talk about this sort of stuff all the time. So if you watch the stream or the videos before, I'm sure you get what I mean. But this sort of stuff here, those savings add up when you add them across first moving, second moving, and third moving when you're doing a majority of your tarping. If you save 8 builds now because you built 15 tiles and you didn't block off your right 8 times, 7 times. If you do that for first moving, second moving, and third moving, you're making a savings of anywhere between, 210 to 300 mats, depending on how often you do it. And that can, like I said, it compounds itself. You start doing it at zone 1, by the time you reach zone 3, you could have saved anywhere between 200 to 300 mats. It's really worthwhile working out when you can save, when you don't have to save, all that sort of stuff. Now, this is again, we're entering the scenario, that timing, where it's about time where I want to see him actively looking and actively chasing a refresh, right? Because by the time he looks to get the initial damage, follow up, or tarp to the person and follow up, you're down to about 10 mats left, and at that point you're starting to 50-50. So I want to see him start to look for it, actively try and fight for it, find it. Which is what we're seeing here, right? He doesn't get that kill, but he basically doesn't. Okay, so now we're looking at, this is how he gets, I don't know how the fuck he gets out of this, man. An element of this, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, is zero ping. A lot of people wouldn't, like, on stream, I think he held off 3 pickaxes from this guy, where essentially the guy was trying to break in and he held him off from memory. Holds him off, gets the resets off, all of his builds place perfectly, like, the dude's just a fucking psycho for that. That's the only edit he missed the entire time. So there's an element of zero ping, or at least lower ping than that guy involved. As he was trying to jump in. Hits a big shot on that guy. That's the only shot we will see him miss the rest of this endgame. That right there. And look at the pace. Like, I watched this back over stream, and just there are so many fucking moments here where he shows such good patience in under so much pressure. Look, so obviously he hits the shot on this guy, opens the edit out onto the fire here, misses the shot, and then we'll play it out in full. Lets him break it and then shoots it. I guarantee you, old ego-filled Mongraal would have tried to take the second, would have tried to take the edit, just would have got hard sprayed and then broken through. But he waits for him to break it. He does take a couple of shots there, and then pumps him back. Unbelievable patience, like, just wild shit, man. Gets his heels off. Got a decent refresh there. He can go back, pick up the medal. Now, this is a scenario where I see he's going straight up the middle of zone, right? So if we've seen any improvements from him in terms of like the way he looks at the game, look, he's basically straight up the guts, right? Like he is right in the middle of zone. What I want to see is him cut to left or cut to right and look to play down an edge until he's at about, again, that 200, 250-ish map threshold, where I want to see him find a refresh or actively search for one, right? So to see, this is a really good test at this moment here, right? So I'm looking for him to play to the left side or the right side and try and cut down on the potential of someone really spraying him or creating... What I don't want to see is someone shooting him from here and then shooting him from here and basically taking, getting a potential pinch on him. So I want to see him play to one side just to cut down that potential. We're seeing improvement, man. It's so good to see. Instantly looks to cut left. And now, honestly, this is the state where we're looking at. We're going back through old builds. At some point, you're going to have to 50-50 someone. And this is when having the gold spaz and the scar and the really good guns does come into effect. So having what he's got now is really nice. Because now he's sort of in the 50-50 stage or the aim stage. Oh, stays calm, hits the 160. Look at how calm he remains here. And again, the patience, right? I talked about how he would have taken that, the old Mongraal would have taken the edit on that other guy. Look at, he gets the walls off here. He looks for an edit. He's like, no, that's not the right play. Lets the guy shoot the ramp out and then takes the shot himself. Like, just gorgeous mechanics throughout that. Go back and just watch that shit one by one because it's actually fucking crazy, right? Like, slow it right down. Hits a 168 on the guy through his wall. 41, builds him off, and then he realizes he can come around, builds him off there as well. Flips the ramp towards the guy, resets it, tries again. Guy breaks and he hits him for one shot. Huge bait. Huge bait. Like the thought process, the way he can do that so fast, like that's just wild, man. Five left. He's got the chug cannon, which obviously low ground we all know is broken. I don't think it's as broken in solos as people make it out to be. I think in trios is where it's really broken. But in solos it obviously does well. And now, honestly, in these situations, it just comes down to hitting your shots. If you're a Mongraal here, you've just got to hit your shots. .35 wide, and the guy knows that kills his. He's got some flobbies there, which will obviously be lovely. Just the one. Gonna pick it up and use it now, surely. Yeah, he's got the scar he can pick back up. Got the siphon mats, but at this stage, like, it's all his, right? Oh, he did it with 5 health. Oh my god. He did it with 5 health left, bro. This guy's fucked.